Monika sits alone and stares through the window, the same one through which she has peered every day for years. Her mind turns over how things might have turned out, had events not been so cruel. The daughter she gave up, who never came back. Love, the lifeblood of human existence, that for her remained unrequited. And life itself, that for her once held so much promise, all unfulfilled. The city square below hasn't changed much over the years, or rather the buildings themselves haven't, but their use has. Rampant commercialism has washed away all traces of the old ways, once cherished by Monika and her kind. Her eyes settle on the archway leading off the square, where her office had once been, and which had been one of the crossing points. This side, her country. On the other, another world, an enemy, a decadent way of life. It was through that arch, many years before, that Gretel had passed. Gretel, the only good thing in Monika's life. Her daughter. There was no choice. The border was about to close. Gretel would have been trapped. This was no life for a young girl. So Monika had agreed for Gretel's American Air Force father to take her, and the promises he made of freedom, milk and honey still echo in her mind. The image seared in her memory is of Gretel's tiny innocent hand held inside his vice-like grip. How the early morning sunshine picked out Gretel's golden locks as she left. Safe. Gretel was gone, but Monika had to stay, to serve her state and stamp passports. And because she'd let her daughter escape, Monika would be forever labelled, unworthy of trust, condemned to remain in that same booth, in the arch, by the square under her apartment window. But Gretel was never far from her mind. Monika thought of her each time she examined the travel documents of some hopeful traveller or other, some trying to enter, some hoping to leave. All of them, their eyes filled with hope, eager to see whoever was waiting for them on the other side. Monika held the power to decide whether to allow them to proceed. She'd regard the documents through emotionless eyes, darting between the papers and the bearer, weighing them up. There were days when she cared little and simply stamped the visa and waved them on. And there were others when the pain was too great, when Gretel preyed on her mind. When Monika would toss the papers back and refuse passage. "Nein," she'd hiss, and click her fingers for a uniformed flunky to remove the confused and upset traveller. Then came the letter with its American postmark. It was from her one-time beau, the American airman. He regretted to inform Monika of Gretel's passing. It had been a short illness, no details, but he enclosed a lock of blonde hair. And that was that. At the end of her shift, Monika tramped heavily across the sparse square to her apartment. She spoke to nobody. She placed the lock of hair on the table below the window. Monika silently gazed beyond the arch, past the floodlights, to the land beyond. She sipped goulash soup and tried to bring to mind the sunshine that was Gretel's smile, but it wouldn't come. Monika cried. The border is long gone, abolished with the People's Republic that it protected. Now folk pass through the arch with ne'er a thought for what it had once represented. A tiny plaque on the wall, the only sign of where Monika once wielded her petty powers. Nowadays, teenagers with perfect smiles dispense ice cream to tourists from that same space. Monika knows she hasn't many days left. The mile markers of her long life cast increasingly lengthy shadows. The stairs to the apartment, once easy to bound up, are now a trial. Every bone aches, every breath is a fight, and her eyes are heavy. One more winter, she thinks, and they cart her out in a pine box. Today, though, something is different. Monika looks out as usual, but someone is gazing back. A woman, mid-30s. She's looking up, directly at Monika's window. Monika catches her breath. It can't be. Afraid it's a mirage, Monika wipes her eyes. When she looks again, the woman is still there, and she's approaching the building. Monika slowly and with great effort gets up from her chair by the window and crosses the room to the door. She wants to fling it open and rush out into the stairwell, but she holds back and waits. The wait is interminable, but then there are footsteps on the stone stairs beyond. The shrill ringing of the doorbell shatters the silence of the sparse apartment. Monika's heart misses a beat. She edges the door open with the eager expectation of a schoolgirl. Standing there is Gretel, smiling warmly. Monika can barely believe her eyes. It can't be. I promised I'd come back. Gretel reaches out to take her mother's arm. But it can't be true. A tear forms in Monika's eye and drips down her cheek. She's in shock. This can only be a dream. A cruel trick of the mind. It can't be real, and yet it seems real. Gretel's hand holds on to Monika. There's so much Monika wants to say, but the words won't form in her throat. Are you going to invite me in? Gretel asks, as Monika steps aside. I've come to take you home, Mutti, Gretel says. This is home, Monika answers. Gretel shakes her head. No, this is where you live. We're going to our real home. She takes Monika by her shoulder and tries to lead her to the door. Monika halts and shakes herself free. You've only just got here, she says with a crack in her voice. At least have coffee. Monika turns to the window, where a double of herself sits in her chair, staring as usual out the window. The Monika by the door shakes her head in disbelief, while the one by the window slowly turns to face them. She smiles before shifting her gaze back to the city square. It's time, says Gretel softly, and guides her mother to the door. As they leave, the Monika at the window heaves her last breath. In that moment, her lifelong vigil over the square ends.